and I looked at her and I was like, you're a genius. I want to be your business partner. Let's do this.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abbey.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips. So, who is the dynamic duo? We don't know if anyone else calls us that, but we call ourselves that. So we thought we would just give you a little inside look at who we are as individuals and then who we are together, how we met, just give you the lowdown of who the heck Duo Collective is. So speaking to you right now is Abbey. I am the extra short one of the duo. If you are looking at our brand photos, Court does like to put her arm on me as an armrest on occasion. I am pretty short, 5'1", so I just stopped growing a long time ago. I live in Minneapolis, and I love it. We live right by Lake Nokomis, and it is just an awesome area. There's a coffee shop nearby that we walk to, and me and my husband, our big dog, I have a British Mountain Dog named Zanzibar, who is the snuggliest, biggest. He is the biggest Bernese Mountain Dog I've ever seen. He is 135 pounds. So him and I are basically the same size. And then I have 2 baby boys at home as well, a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old. So our house is chaotic, to say the least. And our littlest guy, Remy, we call him our intern because he has worked from home with me for so long. So he tends to join a lot of our client calls, and you'll see him occasionally on Instagram. And obviously my 3-year-old would love to too. But when I have both of them, it is way too chaotic to do anything. But it is very fun as well. I'm also an Enneagram 4. If you are an Enneagram lover, meaning I'm the individualist. I have all the feels, which is definitely one of the things that when I took that quiz, I was like, yep, that's me. I have a lot of feelings, in a good way and occasionally in a crazy way. And then I've just always kind of had this entrepreneurship pull. I took an entrepreneurship class in high school, which is just really funny. And then me and one of my girlfriends, we just always joke about growing up. We were the ones that sold the Girl Scout cookies together. We were randomly starting these crazy ideas and businesses and selling, lemonade stands, even things like that is just I don't know. There was just always this push to do something on our own. And, yeah, it just kind of spiraled into this baby, which is awesome.
Yes. So I am Courtney, and I am the average height one of the duo. I do like to use Abby's shoulder as a nice little armrest in our photos every once in a while. She's the perfect height for me, so I absolutely love it. And having big dogs is a requirement for the duo. I have a giant Irish Wolfhound. Her name is Ezra. She is also 135 pounds, so they are equally the same size. But she is much taller than Zanz, and I would say leaner. But seeing her next to Abbey is one of my favorite things. So whenever Abbey comes over to work, it is just the funniest thing because my dog is almost taller than Abbey. I will definitely take a photo sometime and let you all see this for yourselves. But yeah, so my husband and I, we live in Stillwater, Minnesota. It is a lovely little quaint town right by the river, right before you get to Wisconsin. We absolutely love it. We actually built a house here 2 years ago now, I want to say. And my husband is also an entrepreneur and owns his own business, and he actually designed our house. So that's what he does. He's a new home designer. So it's been really interesting and fun, both of us working from home and just kind of being each other's sidekicks. Fun and interesting, it tests your relationship, but we absolutely love it, and we'd have it no other way. I am an Enneagram 2, so I am the helper. Basically, if you need me to do anything for you, I will literally drop everything that I'm doing just to help you and get validation from you to make myself feel better. It's a little pathetic, I would say sometimes, but if you ever need help, just reach out. I will definitely help you. And design is literally in everything that I do, from just getting up in the morning to getting ready to Halloween. I have so many Halloween costumes, and I can't even remember how many Halloween costume contests I've won, which makes me sound really snotty, but it's true.
They're too good, and they're not just like the average Halloween costumes. They're like you should share some of your
yeah. I should definitely have a highlight on Instagram where it's just my Halloween costumes. Which brings me to like my collection of wigs. I also have a wig collection, which makes me sound like a crazy lady. But you'll also occasionally see those in our reels. So
we just can't help ourselves with a box of wigs. You gotta try some out.
Yeah. So maybe we'll break out the Halloween costumes one of these times too. But
we did dress up this past Halloween as duo, thing 1 and thing 2.
Yes.
So that was pretty fun. But yeah, so our story of kind of how we connected, we used to work downtown Minneapolis at a marketing agency, and I had worked there out of college. So I had worked there for 10 years before I left to pursue duo. And that's where we met. So we met probably, I don't know, 5 years into me working there. You probably came in.
How long were you there?
10?
I was there for like 8-ish, I feel like.
Oh, so maybe even, maybe
just
I was
a couple years.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
So at some point we met, and then we got set up like 3 years, with 3 years left, we got set up on the same client. So we worked together in the same capacity that we work now. So I ran the account side, and I was really like the face-to-face with the client all day and doing a lot of like the account and the strategy, and Courtney was my creative sidekick, and so we would work together, and we had a much bigger team as well. There was a lot of other people we worked with, but we definitely became, I'd say near the end of it, like definite sidekicks. Like we would be the ones that each other turned to when anything happened.
Right. And I feel like people even on our team started to realize that it was just like always Courtney and Abbey, and it probably got a little annoying to them. But I think they even said something like about us being attached at the hip. But we would literally we'd work together all day, and we'd go grab coffee together, or we'd go grab lunch together, or we'd run to Target together. So it did kind of become like that duo essentially started to form way before we even knew it.
It was kind of and it was easy too, because we could just talk about, it's like, let's just talk about work and walk. Let's have this meeting and go to a coffee shop. Let's like go do something. And so it just became very natural for us. And I think one day, in addition to that, I mean, I was kind of doing things on the side with SEO. I was a ghostwriter for a travel blogger. So I was learning SEO on like all self-taught, and it's just, I wrote 3 blogs a week for months, which is a lot, but it really got me to understand like Google and understand how it worked and understand how content and keywords really work. And I was doing that on the side.
And I was doing design on the side. So I had my own kind of like freelance gig that I had been working on for years. And it kind of got to that point where I wasn't able to like quit my full-time job and like have a sustainable income with just what I was doing. So one coffee morning, I think we were both kind of feeling burnt out in the agency life and the 9 to 5, and like not having growth opportunities and just kind of losing our creative juices. Yeah, they just
something was missing.
Something was missing. And so I looked at Abbey one morning on the way to Starbucks, and I was just like, Abbey, what is the next big thing? Like, we got it. Like, people are inventing apps and people are inventing products and blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking way too far forward. I think I was just like being a huge, big dreamer. And Abbey looked at me and she was like, why don't we just do what we do now, but like it's our own thing, and we do it for entrepreneurs and small businesses and startups? And I looked at her and I was like, you're a genius. I want to be your business partner. Let's do this. It was just that aha moment. And like, as soon as she said that, I was like, there's no way, like, there's just no reason that we can't do this. Like, we need to do this.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and then randomly, Courtney had like a client opportunity come up where she wanted more than design work. And so it just ended up being this like natural project that we didn't even know what services we were going to offer yet. We were just like, well, we're an agency. We do it all now. Why can't we do it all for our clients? So we kind of started that way. We started just doing everything and like, let's put together a marketing plan for you. And that naturally progressed into what we do now. But it was just kind of, we just had to like, we took that client, we thought like, hey, why not? Let's give it a try, do it. So
I think we even took her on before we even had a name. Like, we didn't have hardly anything. We had this idea, and we're like, okay, let's test this idea. And it worked. And obviously we had like a lot of processes and everything to work through. But once we, worked on that one client outside of our agency life and like realizing that like we can do this outside of what we're doing now and with different clients, we knew at that moment, like, this is going to be something. We're going to start a business and this is what we're going to do. And then everything else kind of, falls into place as you continue to grow that business, or, things may change or evolve. But it was just that, that starting point that we both needed to get to.
And that at the time, I think when we took on this very first client and thought like, heck yeah, let's do it. I had just came back from maternity leave. I was maybe like a month back to work. And I think it all just, that was one of the things personally for me too, where I was like, I'm not, like, this isn't my jam. If I'm leaving my baby behind, like, I want to be doing something that I love. So that was just, and we see that so often with so many of our clients too, where like that shift in lifestyle of like what's happening in your life really like takes you to a different journey of like, okay, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing with my life because my priorities are somewhere else. So, it just kind of all lined up in such a crazy way. But I think we can always come up with excuses too of like why we can't do something. Like, I can't do this because of security, or because I just had a baby, or because I just like I don't even know what I'm doing next. Like, there's always going to be excuses. There's always going to be hurdles. So
yeah. I think we had to talk ourselves out of a few of those hurdles, but we were pretty set on making this work when we started it. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy, especially if you've got something else that you're doing at the same time, such as a full-time job. There were nights where I'd be working from 9 to 5 at the agency and then 5 to midnight on Duo, and that was just kind of, the lifestyle for a while. But when you find that passion, like if you've lost that passion and then you find that passion again in something else, you are so excited about it and want it to succeed and move forward that you will find ways. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So that is our little journey in a nutshell. I mean, it was years and years in the making, so nothing happens overnight. It definitely took time, but that is who the Duo is, and we are just so excited to be able to bring all of the world of what we do every day into this podcast. So we wanted to give you a little peek behind the curtain of who we are, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come that you guys can see in terms of who we are behind the scenes.
Yes.
If you like this episode, be sure to share it with a friend or tag us on Instagram, Duo On Air Podcast. We are also hosting a little giveaway each week.
Go to wherever you listen to your podcast and write us a review. For each review, we'll be entering you into a drawing for a chance to win a curated box of the Duo's favorite things.
And if you know us, we love coffee, small businesses, and we're definitely not above graphic tees. So go ahead, head out right now and write us a review. See you next time, friends.